والنجم إذا هوى ما ضل صاحبكم وما غوى.
Now that I've given you ahsanu bil husna, and we'll do the bil husna at the very end, now let's see what these two bas were doing. Look, Allah could have said He will give the sinners based on their sins, because of their sins, and He will pay the excellers because of their excellence. But He didn't do that. So there are two things missing. He pays the sinners their pay. He didn't say the pay is missing. What Allah hasn't mentioned is, He mentioned why they're being given the pay, but He's not mentioning their pay itself. But with the believers, He's not mentioning why He's paying them, but He's only mentioning the payment. Okay? So there's two things, the reason and the payment. With the sinners, Allah mentions the reason, but He doesn't mention the payment. With the believers, He mentions the payment, but He doesn't mention the reason. And this is an incredible rahmah of Allah. It's an incredible rahmah of Allah. Allah did not describe punishment for the sinner. Allah only described their deeds. Because that way, even if they're sinning right now, they can stop sinning and focus on their deeds and not tell themselves, well, I'm just going to get punished. He took away the punishment from the ayah and focused on their deeds. But for a believer, He didn't focus on the believer's deeds. He focused on Allah's payment. Why? So the believer doesn't become impressed with their deeds. They don't start thinking, it's because of my deeds I'm going to get Jannah. No, you're going to get Jannah because of Al-Husna. Or with you're going to be compensated. Those who did their best will be compensated with the ultimate best. Look at the transition now. Let's understand this last part. الَّذِينَ أَحْسَنُوا بِالْحُسْنَى. My best, is that perfect? Your best, is that perfect? Far from it. Far from it. Our best is pretty lame. But it's still our best. Allah does not say, I will give you according to, because your best was like 60%, so I'm going to give you reward based on 60%. Al-Husna in Arabic actually is the superlative form. It actually means the ultimate best, the absolute best. Was my effort absolutely the best? No, it was imperfect, because my best is imperfect. But Allah's reward based on my imperfect effort is actually ultimately the most beautiful. This is the same word that's used for Allah's names. Falahul asma'ul husna. It's the description of something. Nothing can be more beautiful is what's called al-husna. Nothing can be more beautiful inside and out is called al-husna. Allah is saying, I will give you in Jannah something that will look beautiful on the outside and you will feel beautiful on the inside. And you have never seen more beauty on the outside and you have never felt this beautiful on the inside. That is al-husna. And that's what I'm willing to give you. You just give me your best. وَيَجْزِيَ الَّذِينَ أَحْسَنُوا بِالْحُسْنَى. You know what Allah is showing us? Allah is showing us the sinners are going to be punished exactly based on their deeds, but the doers of good are being given way more than they could ever earn. Way more than that. Now let's think about this inside and outside beauty before we conclude. If I'm in a beautiful place but I'm depressed, does the place look beautiful? You could be in a 5-star hotel, they're giving you the best food, everything's amazing, and you're like, I don't know why nothing means anything. I'm not hungry. I don't want to go anywhere. Can we go back home? Because there's beauty on the outside, but there are feelings of ugliness on the inside. That's not al-husna. There are people who try to find goodness on the inside. And I've met people that have a lot of happiness on the inside and they have practically nothing outside. They have nothing outside. But that doesn't mean their life is easy. There's still the ugliness of the outside to deal with. Disease, sickness, poverty, hunger. They have to deal with those things. Those are ugly things. But at least they have a lot more beauty on the inside. Allah is offering us a Jannah where It's the ultimate beauty on both ends. It's beyond, we can't imagine this. It's not something we've ever experienced. We can't. And he says this is what he's going to do. Why? Because he owns whatever's in the skies and whatever's in the earth. لِيَجْزِيَ الَّذِينَ أَسَاءُوا بِمَا عَمِلُوا وَيَجْزِيَ الَّذِينَ أَحْسَنُوا بِالْحُسْنَى. I'm going to give you a taste of tomorrow at 7, just a taste. And I can't go into the whole thing because I don't want to do injustice to the ayah. We have a little bit of time, so I'm going to use it. Those who do their best. I mean, I expect that they're people of tahajjud. I expect that these are people that are doing at least one umrah a year, multiple hajjages, donate a lot of money, right? They're at the masjid every day, 5 times a day, or at least Fajr and Isha every day. These are people that are like doing dhikr all the time. They're just spiritual high standards. These are people of ihsan. These are people of ihsan. This ayah 32 is a description of the people that will get the very best Jannah. Al-Husna. Al-Husna means they can't be any more beautiful than that. These are the people who get it. I'm going to just translate it for you so you appreciate what he's saying. الَّذِينَ يَجْتَنِبُونَ كَبَائِرَ الْإِثْمِ وَالْفَوَاحِشِ. The people who are able to stay away from and avoid major sins and all kinds of indecency and ugliness. إِلَّا اللَّمَمْ, except slip-ups. Except the occasional slip-ups. Except messing up here and there. إِنَّ رَبَّكَ وَاسِعُ الْمَغْفِرَةِ. No doubt about it, your master is very vast in forgiveness. وَأَعْلَمُ بِكُمْ إِذَا أَنشَأَكُم مِّنَ الْأَرْضِ. He knows better about you when he brought you up from the earth. وَإِذْ أَنْتُمْ أَجِنَّةٌ فِي بُطُونِ أُمَّهَاتِكُمْ. And he knows you better. He's known you better when you were in the bellies of your mothers hidden away. فَلَا تُزَكُّوا أَنفُسَكُمْ. So don't consider yourselves pure. هُوَ أَعْلَمُ بِمَنِ اتَّقَى. He knows better who has taqwa. That's the ayah. This ayah needs an hour. Well, you just need to appreciate what's happened here. The previous ayah was people who do ihsan. الَّذِينَ أَحْسَنُوا بِالْحُسْنَى. The people of ihsan should be described now with the best deeds. What are the best deeds? They don't mess up in a major way. They don't kill anybody. They don't eat haram. They don't commit major sins. And they do mess up sometimes. Like illa lamam, they do mess up sometimes. Not major sins, but stuff happens. They get angry sometimes. They ended up backbiting somebody here and there. They look somewhere they shouldn't have looked. They had a conversation they shouldn't have. They do make mistakes. And I'm telling you something. I know there are kids here, so I won't go into detail. Classical mufassirun, when they explain this ayah, slip-ups, PG-13, maybe even R. And now you're like, is this tafsir of Quran from the Sahaba? From what? Does anybody else know this? Is it Ibn Kathir? Like when I opened and started reading it, I'm like, I better not read this out loud. They actually started going into detail. What is the slip-up? And the slip-ups are a bunch of astaghfirullahs. I'm telling you, there are a bunch of astaghfirullahs. Why are they there? Why are these people saying this? Why are they so liberal? I thought Islam is conservative. Because we have a black and white world, right? Liberal, conservative. And if you're a good Muslim, you're supposed to be a conservative. And if you're going to Jahannam, you're supposed to be a liberal. The problem is, the Quran is neither liberal nor conservative. The Quran is balanced. And it came to human beings. And human beings aren't perfect. And they mess up. And just because they mess up, Allah doesn't take their hope away. You can't do your best. You messed up. You can't be a person of ihsan. Look at what you did. No, Allah doesn't cancel people. Allah says, okay, they do their best. They stay away from major things and then they mess up too. And when they mess up, it's not a permanent mess up. It's momentary. They mess up and then he immediately adds, Inna rabbaka wasi'ul maghfirah. Allah is, your Rabb is so vast in forgiveness. Your Rabb is so vast in forgiveness. You know what that means? We claim that religion is merciless. Religion is harsh. Religion is judgmental. You know what's happened today? because we want to run away from religion, human beings have become more judgmental than ever before.